is going to be met hard and met fast by number 31 of that defense, Daryl Green, a name that I have said again and again tonight. Daryl Green making a huge tackle.
Welcome to 24 Hour Sports. You are now here with Daryl Green. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And it's time. I seen a couple lists. I talked with some people, but it's time for my list. My list is very different from what a lot of people are saying in these mid-season NFL awards. But right now, this video today, we going into my NFL awards if the season ended today. No more talking.
Let's get it.
Psych! I must admit, Geno Smith is having an exceptional season, but I just got to give it to Josh Allen. I got to give it to Josh Allen because looking at the statistics, him and Patrick Mahomes, they're right there. They're right there with each other, but I give the edge to Josh Allen because he won the head-to-head matchup and he's faced a better schedule. He's knocked off every contender in the AFC. He's beat the Dolphins, he's beat the Ravens, and he's beat the Chiefs. No way you can't give him MVP. I think it's really a simple one. I think most people have Josh Allen winning the MVP, and my runner-up is Patrick Mahomes. I believe Patrick Mahomes is a certain dominance for that offense. Jalen Hurts, I understand that the Eagles are 7-0, but I just don't think that he has the same impact as a Josh Allen and a Patrick Mahomes. Take that how you want. I'm not putting him in that conversation just yet. I believe he comes right after those guys. He is playing like an MVP, but Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes are in a league amongst themselves. Going into my Offensive Player of the Year, the last quarterback to win Offensive Player of the Year was Patrick Mahomes. The next quarterback to win Offensive Player of the Year will be Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry to say it. I don't understand the stigma that a lot of people believe that Offensive Player of the Year has to be a skill position. Michael Thomas, Cooper Kupp, those guys. Now, a lot of people believe that it has to be a skill position, but it doesn't. The best offensive player who is not the MVP. Sometimes the MVP can get it, but we don't see that a lot anymore. So I believe Josh Allen, I'm giving him my MVP. Right behind him has to be Patrick Mahomes getting that Offensive Player of the Year. My runner-up is TYREEK Hill. I was really considering putting Stephon Diggs in there, but TYREEK Hill having an exceptional season. The only knock on TYREEK Hill is that he has 2 touchdowns. He has 2 touchdowns right now, but the numbers, he's on pace to break the single-season receiving yards record. So that alone stands out. That separates him. But Patrick Mahomes, my Offensive Player of the Year. I have Micah Parsons as my Defensive Player of the Year. When I say Defensive Player of the Year, it's not just a number stat. Don't get confused that because of the sacks, because of all the flash plays, that's not why I have him as my Defensive Player of the Year. I look at impact, and the stats have to match the impact. Micah Parsons' stats align with his impact, so that's why he's my Defensive Player of the Year. Nick Bosa makes a strong case. Myles Garrett. It's a lot of people that are playing great on defense. We just have a lot of pass rushers in the NFL right now. Even Aaron Donald, he's still doing his thing, even though they're not winning. But it's a lot of great defensive guys. My runner-up is Nick Bosa. Now, this was kind of teetering. It can be a lot of guys. It can be Myles Garrett, Matthew Judon having an exceptional season. It's a lot of guys who can be in that runner-up position. But this ain't about runner-ups. Micah Parsons is my Defensive Player of the Year. I'm sticking with it. He balling. Okay, so I know what a lot of people are thinking. You know, I got some good picks. It wasn't really nothing too questionable, nothing too out of the way. But the rest of my list is where a lot of people going to fall off with me. But I need you to hold on. My Offensive Rookie of the Year, K9. First off, that's the best nickname that I've heard in a long, long time. Bro, your nickname is K9. You named after one of the most vicious dogs. So that alone already separates you from the field. Breece Hall. Breece Hall is having an outstanding season. Sadly got injured, but I gotta give it to Kenneth Walker. I just got to. Looking at the stats, okay, Breece Hall hasn't played last week, so that's kind of giving him a disadvantage. I feel if he played, he probably would be leading all rookie running backs in rushing yards, so that's not fair to say to him. But looking at the stats, him and Dameon Pierce and Kenneth Walker, they're all similar. They're all similar. Dameon Pierce has a lot more rushes than those two guys, so his yards per carry are a little lower. But I gotta go with Kenneth Walker. I believe he's the best running back in this class. Jets fans, say what you want to say. Kenneth Walker, my offensive rookie of the year. A lot of people may disagree. Dameon Pierce is a good rookie running back. Wherever you want to fit him in on this list, you can put him there. Kenneth Walker is my offensive rookie of the year. Going over to my defensive rookie of the year. I got Sauce. I already did a video on Sauce. That video will be linked in the description. You can check that video out, see what Sauce is talking about. But that's my defensive player of the year. I believe he came in that Jets defense and he set a tone. He set a tone as a rookie amongst all the other rookies, amongst all corners in the league. There's other good rookies as well. Jack Jones, TYREEK Woolen, those guys, not to discredit them, but Sauce is standing out. I believe he's the best after watching the film. The Jets are top 10 in completion percentage, pass yards allowed, and pass incompletions per game. That's attested to him because when you have that number one corner, you can play coverages because you know we don't have to worry about that side as much. So now we can focus on some of the other guys. Sauce has been exceptional. My defensive rookie of the year. My runner-up. A lot of people not going to agree with this, but I got Devin Lloyd. You know the love that I have for linebackers. I got Devin Lloyd as my runner-up. He's been exceptional. That Jaguars defense hasn't been up to par. They haven't been up to par. But Devin Lloyd has stood out. He's feeling the run. He's doing some things in coverage. I just like what I see from him. I believe he's one of those young franchise middle linebackers. I believe he'll be there for a long time. I believe he's going to end up getting a contract when that time is there. So those are my two guys. Comeback player of the year, Saquon Barkley. I have Saquon Barkley. You know, a lot of people want to put Geno Smith in this conversation. Geno Smith is playing well, but Saquon Barkley, man, he is a guy. Running backs don't last long. And when they get hurt, they don't come back. We got Adrian Peterson. Adrian Peterson, he's different. That's different. If we're comparing on that scale, we'll never be satisfied. So I'm not comparing on that scale. But Saquon Barkley, he gained that form back. His rookie season, we seen the impact he had. We seen what he did. Now he's back to that form, if not better. I have Saquon Barkley. Him and Nick Chubb, they're right there. But I have Saquon Barkley as the best running back in the league right now. And that's tough to say after coming back from the leg injuries that he had. So, especially for a running back. So, that's why I have him as the comeback player of the year, because that story, a lot of people want to write Saquon off. A lot of people did. A lot of people wanted to write the Giants off. They wanted to write Daniel Jones off. They didn't even want him on the team. So that impact, I believe that's really been special, especially when you look at the fact that the Giants don't have a true number one receiver. So guys know the Giants are running the football. They already know this. Stack boxes, blitzes, everything you're going to see. They're running that against the Giants, and Saquon is still doing his thing. And he can also catch the ball. So that's my comeback player of the year. Geno Smith is my runner-up. Now, my coach of the year. My coach of the year. A lot of people are going to be surprised with this pick, but I have Pete Carroll. Because looking at how Pete Carroll wants his team to play, looking at what they need, because they loaded up in the draft. They got some players, Noah Fant, some other players, and Russell Wilson, they weren't willing to pay him. And it's making sense now because when they won the Super Bowl, they didn't have a high-paid quarterback. They had the Legion of Boom. They had defense. And now we're seeing some of that similar thing. Michael Jackson, TYREEK Woolen, Kobe Bryant, all of those guys, they're building the defense again. And Geno Smith, he's fitting right in. He's being accurate. He's making the throws. He's being concise. He's just doing all of the right things. So I have Pete Carroll because nobody's seen this coming. Nobody seen this coming. They thought Drew Lock was going to be the starting quarterback. They didn't even think Geno Smith was worthy of starting again in the NFL. Pete Carroll, he's got it turned around, and they're leading in their division right now. This is the division with the 49ers and the Rams. The Seahawks are leading that right now. So I have to give him Coach of the Year. I understand Nick Sirianni 7-0. I understand Brian Daboll 6-2, but Pete Carroll, because that's the most interesting story to me. It's about storylines, and the record is there. The winning is there. The winning is there to match the storyline. The Eagles have a weak schedule. Eagles fans, I'm sorry, but that schedule is nothing. That schedule is nothing. That's why you're winning games right now. I'm not sold on the Eagles just yet. I'm going to do a video on them as well. But Pete Carroll, my Coach of the Year.